Hey, yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. As you can see, we're chilling on eBay, so I'm back to buying cards on eBay. If you haven't noticed, prices have gone down considerably, kind of across the board, especially in basketball as well. So I am aggressively searching eBay for good deals. Again, I kind of gave up on things, was really focusing on retail and getting good value at retail. But now that things are coming down a little bit, I'm jumping back into buying cards and hopefully flipping them and selling them for more money than I bought them for. So I'm going to give you guys just some kind of sleeper cards that I'm looking at, some purchases that I'm making. Again, none of this stuff is like, I'm not telling you have to go buy this stuff. I'm not telling you if you buy this, I guarantee you're going to make money. These are just suggestions. This is what I'm doing. You can do what I'm doing, or you cannot. You can laugh at this video, or you can take the advice and use it. It's really up to you. I really just recommend you doing your own homework and really only making purchases that you're personally comfortable with. This is just me sharing my own thoughts and just kind of my own process and what I'm doing. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and jump into the first card that I am looking at. This is nothing, so get that out of here. So we're gonna start off, actually I'm missing one. So let's do this real quick. The first card that I wanna talk about, and you'll be able to see, here we go. Let's go Bryce Harper, rookie. There we go. So the first card I want to talk about is Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's playing really well. He's kind of getting back to his MVP level type form. I think there's a chance of him being an MVP this year. So I think I definitely have seen his prices starting to trend up, and I think they're going to continue in that direction. So I'm looking at him as someone that I want to buy low and watch rise. He's definitely getting more comfortable in Philadelphia, starting to establish himself there. I think we'll just continue to see him play at an MVP type level, probably for the next, who knows, 5 to 10 years. So I think his cards are going to be probably lower now than they will ever be again. So I think it would be really, really wise to grab his stuff now before it blows up. So personally, because I am on a budget, I'm looking at like his Bowman paper card, which you can see right here for $7. I'm looking at that type of stuff, and obviously this is a really good. His tops rookies are going up a little bit. I was looking at his stuff probably 3 months ago, and it was dirt cheap. So prices are already trending upwards for him. So I really recommend getting in on some Bryce Harper stuff. Definitely jump into some auctions if possible. You can get better deals in auctions right now. People have his buy now price a little higher than I think it probably should be. So jump in some auctions, see what kind of deals you can get. I think this is about as low as we're going to see him for a very long time. So that's just my recommendation. So the next player I want to talk about is Eloy Jimenez. So this is a guy that I talked about in my mail day video. I really like Eloy. Right now he's playing really well, hitting the ball really well. The White Sox have a really good young core, exciting team. So their stuff is on the rise for sure. I was buying his stuff about a month ago, a little bit over a month ago, and it was dirt cheap, and it's already starting to go up. So I've been looking at buying his, like you can see, his rookie debuts. Those are still really cheap. I like those cards. If you look at the Fernando Tatis rookie debuts, those are really rising in value right now, surprisingly. So I'm looking at grabbing those for Eloy. I don't think he'll ever be as valuable as a Fernando Tatis, but something, I'm looking at a card that you can buy now for, like, you can see it, $2. Like, okay, that card has the potential to go up to $10, $15 if he keeps trending in the right direction. So I think those are a good deal, especially the Topps Chrome one. Here's one with 2 hours left with no bids for 99 cents. Like, spend $5, grab something like that, and, chill on it and watch it go up in value. Even his Topps Chrome, just regular rookies, aren't bad. They're priced pretty well. They are a little bit higher than they were not very long ago, but I still think there's a lot of value in his stuff, and I'm keeping a close eye on him, grabbing his stuff, when I see it for cheap, and I think it's gonna just go up. So yeah, Eloy Jimenez, another baseball player that I'm looking at right now. So that's the last baseball player. We're gonna jump into some basketball now. So let me put rookie in here. So Trae Young, is a guy that we haven't honestly seen play in a long time, which is crazy to think. Like the last time we saw Trae Young play was a long time ago. So a lot of these guys who didn't end up making the bubble have almost kind of like become irrelevant, just out of sight, out of mind. No one's talking about them. We haven't seen them playing forever, so they're kind of being forgotten about. So we're seeing a lot of their prices drop really, really low, and for no real reason whatsoever other than we just haven't seen them in a long time. So Trae Young was balling this year. Obviously, they weren't winning like a lot of people would have liked to have seen them win, but not because of anything that Trae Young was doing. He was averaging 29.6 points a game, so almost 30 points a game, which is crazy for a second-year player. Obviously, he didn't play the entire season, but he would have finished the season in that range. He actually averaged more points per game than Luka, believe it or not. But obviously, they didn't win as many games in Atlanta, so that's why his value is lower than Luka. But I mean, I think he's a special player. The ceiling is really, really high for him. Averaging almost 10 assists per game in his second year. Can do pretty much anything on the court as a point guard. Can score from anywhere. Distributes the ball really well. I think he just has to establish himself as more of a leader. And the sky is the limit for this guy. But if you look at his prices on his stuff, and it is really low right now. The buy now prices are still really high, but if you can jump into some auctions for his stuff, you can get some of his stuff for really, really, really cheap. I'm looking at personally like his hoops base card. Here's a status, which is another one that's really cheap and really affordable. Donruss is another one too that I think there's a lot of value and a lot of upside on these kind of lower end cards, and we see that with Luka. You can get those lower end cards for cheap. Wait for next season for Trae Young to come out, start balling, playing really well, for them to start winning games, and you're going to see the value of those cheaper low end cards just blow up. So you can turn $10, $15 cards into $30, $40, $50, $60 cards. I really do think that some of these cards will reach in that range if he plays like I expect him to play, and it's not just me. I think like a lot of other people expect him to play. So that's the stuff that I'm looking at. Like this is a good example. Donruss rated rookie, $4 with 4 hours left. That's gonna finish below probably $10. So definitely looking at grabbing as much of his stuff as I possibly can right now, because I think it's probably at an all-time low. I don't really see it going any lower than this. I think he's probably going to be in the playoffs next year. I just think he's that good. I think the team has that much potential that they're going to be in the playoffs next year, and they're going to be in the playoffs for a very long time. And so I think this is about as cheap as you are going to see Trae Young stuff maybe ever, honestly. Could be very wrong. He could be, just another guy who doesn't win games and puts up crazy numbers, but, is not a winner, and his value is just super low. But I'm betting on him coming back next year, balling out, winning some games. And, I think he's a solid guy to bet on right now. So that's Trae Young. Next player we're going to jump into is Markelle Fultz. So Markelle Fultz is a guy that I talked about a while ago when I was buying his Prism rookie cards for like $3 and $5. And you can see like that stuff has gone up considerably. But I still think there's a lot of upside for him. These seem really high, like these PSA 10 at $102, like that seems crazy. But it is possible because he was playing really, really well in the bubble. He was kind of establishing himself as like a legit scorer in this league. What's crazy about Markelle Fultz is this still was technically his rookie season. Not technically, but I mean, he played 14 games in his first year and 19 games in his second season. So he played like less than 40 games before coming into this season. And this year he averaged 12 points. He averaged just above 12 points. But I think he really showed he's going to be a special player in the bubble. He has all the tools. His jump shot is starting to kind of come along. So I'm looking for him to really establish himself next year as an elite player. I don't know if he'll be an all-star anytime soon, but I think he has that type of game and he has the potential to be an all-star. If you look at his Prism cards, they're really high right now. Actually, this isn't bad, just buying one by itself, but I personally, I like the prices on his optic. It reminds me, honestly, a lot of like Donovan Mitchell. I don't think he's as good as Donovan Mitchell. I don't think he'll be as good as Donovan Mitchell was this year, but if you look at some of my older videos when I was talking about Donovan Mitchell and his potential and looking at some of his like optic rookie cards, they were dirt cheap, man. And so I think this is kind of a similar situation, a guy from the same class. I'm looking to grab these up now. I have a bunch, but I'm looking to get more because I think his value is going to continue to go up next year, and I'll be able to flip some of these like I was flipping Donovan Mitchell cards like crazy earlier in the bubble. So that one paid off, so hopefully this one pays off as well. Again, this is one that I know some people probably will not agree with me on, but I'm betting on this dude, so take that for what you will. So the next guy is another kind of controversial guy, and it's Paul George. Paul George has been the topic of a lot of criticism so far this year. Let me see. I want to put this in because this is the card that I'm looking at right now. He's been the top of a lot of criticism. People have been hating on him. He didn't play well early on in the bubble, but he's kind of making up for it. And I think if the Clippers make a long run into the playoffs and win a championship, it's going to be, he has to play really well. So, I think Kawhi's value is really high. His cards are really high. So it's hard to kind of jump on Kawhi right now. But if you're trying to jump on someone in the bubble currently that's playing, I think Paul George is that guy. He's in a weird rookie class where Panini hadn't really established a lot of its high-end products yet, and Topps had had just lost their license, so there isn't a lot of great rookie cards for him. So I've been looking at like his first year select card, which is kind of like his rookie. I think it's his second year. Yeah, it's his second year, and those are really cheap. And also Prism as well too. His first Prism card, which is his second year card. Those are probably some of the best cards that you can find for him. Personally, in my opinion, I think they're better than his rookie cards. And they are really cheap right now. I bought a few. I'll probably grab a few more. But if he's a guy, like, if he starts to play really well and he's balling out and they win a championship, I think we're going to see his cards like really skyrocket and go up. And it's another guy that I'm just able to jump in low, chill on it, watch him play, hope he plays really well, and if he does, I'm sitting on a gold mine. So that's why I'm jumping on Paul George stuff. Oh, get out of here. Please ignore that. And then there's some really cool parallels and stuff that you can buy from him too. But yeah, Paul George is the guy that I'm looking at. So the last guy I want to talk about is a guy I've talked about a couple times before, and that's Kristaps Porzingis. So we saw him, unfortunately, get hurt in the playoffs this year. That's kind of been his Achilles heel are the injuries, but when he plays, he's really good, and him and Luka together look like they are going to be a force for a long time in the league if he's able to stay healthy. I was buying his stuff earlier on in the year. His Prism stuff was a lot cheaper than it is now, but his hoop space, and this is the card that I'm looking at and then I'm grabbing, are these hoop spaces. I think those are still really undervalued, man. I've been buying a lot of those because I think they're going to continue to go up. And I just think that's a solid value. I think his stock will continue to rise. If he's able to stay healthy, him and Luka together are going to make some really awesome, deep playoff runs. And I think he's a solid buy now. So definitely jump on his stuff. I really recommend this hoops. Like, this is a great price. I might just buy this one. I'll probably buy this one after this video, but So those are my sleepers right now, guys. Again, I'm really excited to be back into buying things on eBay, and hopefully this information helps you guys make some good decisions, or just helps you guys like avoid some mistakes that I make. You never know. But thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video.